Alrighty. Oops, forgot my headphones almost. Okay, this is just more of a test tonight. I haven't done this in a while. Let me get my... almost knocked my microphone over. That's not good. That's not good. Let's see if we can hear myself. I am not... What does that still say? All right. Is that still showing Phasmophobia? I think it is. Maybe I'll play that later, but I'm not going to play it now. Tonight, we are recording a spooky story. What is this? Oh, yeah. Okay. So, yeah. Trying to get back to my regular schedule. Hope I'm coming through okay with the right microphone. I definitely don't have the right microphone on my recording software. Let's fix that. Configure. Audio. I should be able to hear myself now. Mic check. 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 1. A 2 a 3. There we go. There we go. Now we're reading. All right. So, I was just doing some change up with the... I had to get a new mic stand here. That's a little far away, I think. What if I do this? Hold on a second. Oh, duh. I'm an idiot. I'm hearing my own delay because I have the Twitch page still open. Let me get rid of that. That would help, wouldn't it? So I don't hear myself. Alrighty. So, what are we recording tonight? I have been wanting to record this story. Does it still show? Why does it still show Phasmophobia? Maybe I'll play a little Phasmophobia in a minute. But I have been needing to record this story. I think I promised this like 2 years ago. Oh, shoot, the script's not going to show up, is it? It's just the recording software. That's fine. I don't have a webcam in here yet. I need to do that. All right. So... it's really annoying me that is not fixed. Creator dashboard. There we go. That's what I want. I am a professional. I know what I'm doing. How do I... Maybe I don't. Maybe I don't. Oh, there's an ad break coming in, so I'll wait for that anyway. Live but unstable. What is average stream bit rate too high? Oh dear. What does that mean? Authorize. Authorize. Oh. Well, I don't know. Hopefully it's not too bad. If it is, let me know. If anybody shows up. If you're here, welcome. If you catch us afterwards, welcome. So, this is a story that I have been wanting to record. I did record. I did a stream of it. Shoot, my little mouse is not working very well here either. I want a new booth. Oh my goodness, no. Spooky Saturday shenanigans. Why does that still? Let's delete that. Deletes. Yeah, there we go. All right. That's fine. So YARP. what am I going to do here? Okay, so let's record this here. Let me pull open Le Script. I hope she doesn't mind I'm doing this. This is, so, part of the Carl and Kevin show. Carl's better half, his wife, Louise, or author's name is L.F. Mills, is a horror writer, and I really like her stuff. And I had promised myself I was going to record this like 2 years ago. So here we are, the week right before Halloween, or the week of Halloween, actually. I'm finally going to do it. Finally going to get it done because I promised myself that I would do this. All right, so let's get the old keyboard working here. Yeah, I want that. Oh dear. That's weird. Oh, because that's on. That's fine. Bonfire Night by L.F. Mills. The air was heavy with the smell of bonfire. Damp leaves and icy branches meant the smoke was thick. It hugged the ground, making Riley's eyes run in a constant stream. At 4, he bore the brunt of the smoke as it churned around him. It sat heavy in the lungs of the others in the crowd, but Riley felt it the most. He coughed and spluttered as his mum pulled him along urgently by one hand. "Slow down," he demanded, but his little legs were no match for her as she tugged him through the crowd. His mum spared him a half-glance, her expression distracted, but she didn't slow her pace. She did, however, tighten her grip on Riley's mitten, pulling so hard he thought his arm might come off. With his free hand, Riley rubbed his red-rimmed eyes and runny nose. He could hear the boom of fireworks above them. He strained to catch a glimpse of the bright sparks. That's a big space. I couldn't scroll fast enough. There we go. Let's see here. I guess I can close that. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. That 'tis fine. Can I do it from here? I can do it from here. Yeah, okay. All right, let's try this again. So where was I? So I got to get that scroll down fast because it's a huge gap. Unless, can I get it right there? Yeah. There we go. So we're going to do what's called punch and roll. I'm going to punch into this because I hate editing my own work. Oh, wait, I guess you guys can't hear that in this. Hold up. Hold, please. Let me fix that. Audio output capture, add existing, desktop audio. Okay. There we go. That should be better. Let me see if that does the trick. Does that do the trick? Oh. Oh, I tried to do it. Da, 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 da. Yeah, you guys can't hear that playback, can you? Oh, because I know why. Properties, speakers, no. Focusrite. That's where it's going to come out of. Let's try that again so you guys can hear what... Huh. That is not working. Why is that? Huh. How odd. That is not coming out at all, is it? advanced audio property. It doesn't matter because you guys can hear me on the regular microphone, so that's all I'm going to worry about. Yep. I'll fix it later. Oh my goodness. Here we go. Start right here. He strained to catch a glimpse of the bright sparks he was sure were above, but could only see the billowing smoke clouds, glowing orange from the light of the bonfires. He lowered his eyes from the sky, looking around at the bustling crowd. Riley could only see legs. Most people were wrapped up warm despite the heat from the bonfires, but there were a few who weren't dressed for the cold November night at all. He saw Mrs. Harrison from down the road wearing only her pajamas and a set of furry rabbit slippers. Riley tried to wave, but she was swallowed up by a wave of people. Riley recognized the lady from the corner shop in her apron. He giggled to see she only wore one shoe. Her left leg was bare and thick with dark red mud. Her toes must have been freezing. Riley couldn't see them at all. He wanted to point her out to his mum, but then she disappeared as well. More and more people were pushing their way through the crowds. Pushing their way through the crowd. Ah! Hit the wrong one. You know what? I should put this right next to my icon for my DOS so I don't miss it. Let's see. Let's try that again. Do 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 do. Ba 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 ba. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. All right, let's try this again. Let's see here. Riley imagined what it would be like to traipse through the muddy field without his wellies on. No, that's a weird read. That's a weird read. Oop, missed it. Missed it. And I had to swallow some spit there. That was, let's try this again. Get it right, Kevin. Riley imagined what it would be like to traipse through the muddy field without his wellies on. His mom had wrapped them both up before they'd left the house, even as she pleaded with him to hurry up. He wore his puffy winter coat and large bobble hat, jammed tightly onto his head. She'd been careful to wrap a scarf around his face before they'd left, and when he'd tried to loosen it, she had yelled at him loudly until he'd cried. The scarf was too tight around his face still now, damp with snot and spit, but he was afraid to loosen it. And besides, his mum was wearing one too. They matched. The crowd surged around them, changing quickly from organized chaos to blind panic. He felt hands pushing him, and for a second he was terrified he'd slip out of his mum's hand and fall to the cold ground. But the crowd receded, and his mum kept her deathly tight grip, yanking him upright until his armpit ached. Riley wanted to shout at her again, but then he heard a bang and fizz. At last he saw a red light in the sky above them, lighting up the low clouds. "Mum, I can see the fireworks," he cried, pointing up with his free hand. His mum... Sorry. Okay, so Look, I'm half Irish. I can do a British accent. I don't know what that was, and Luke would definitely get on me. Let's try that again. "Mum, I can see the fireworks," he cried, pointing up with his free hand. His mum ignored him, continuing her ceaseless march through the crowd. Riley knew she wanted a good view of the bonfire. Bonfire? What the hell's a bonfire? Good Lord. Good Lord, I say. I don't know what this is. Okay. Let's try that again. Oh, no, I can't do that. Couldn't find my place fast enough. Oops. Riley knew she wanted a good view of the bonfire. What is a vampire? Vampire. It's ridiculous, Kevin. Riley knew she wanted a good view of the bonfire, but he was getting tired. He was happy to watch the fireworks from here. But several people looked down at the sound of his voice. Their faces were soot-stained and sweaty. They cast judgmental glances at Riley's mum. "Bringing a kid out at a time like this, what's she thinking?" Oh, that's not a good British accent. Let's try that again, shall we? Bringing a cow. Bringing a cow? God, I can't talk tonight. Oh, this is... What am I doing? "Bringing out a kid at a time like this, what's she thinking?" he heard someone mutter. Riley didn't understand. His mom took him out on bonfire. Ba 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 ba. What a day. Been a long day. Did not get as much. Oh, lost it. Couldn't find my place fast enough. Riley didn't understand. His mom took him out on bonfire night every year. They'd buy candy floss or share a hot dog. Then they'd hold sparklers and watch the fireworks together. And when it got colder, they'd get close to the giant bonfire and warm their hands as people toasted marshmallows. This year he'd even learned about Guy Fawkes in school. Bonfire night was his favorite. Why shouldn't he be out? His mom hadn't heard the remark, or she'd chosen to ignore it. She continued to pull Riley through the crowd. Riley soon lost sight of the judgmental adults as they got closer and closer to the fires. He spotted Katie, a teenager his mom sometimes had round to babysit when she had to work late. He could tell it was her because her long blonde hair had fanned out behind her on the ground. Even though it was matted and muddy, Riley could see the heart-shaped hair slide she used to keep it out of her eyes when they played board games. Katie was laying with her belly to the ground, her head twisted to one side. Her school uniform was torn and filthy. Her eyes were wide, and her mouth was open in the mud. Ugh, that's freaky. That's a freaky image, isn't it? Because this is a scary story. This is a scary story. Sorry, Luis, this is what I do when I record audiobooks. It's not all serious funs and... Sorry. And her mouth was open in the mud. I want some more weight behind that, I think, actually. Okay, we are being serious for a moment now. Let's try that again. Oh, that was it. Shit. Nope, I want to sign into my PDF account. I want to fix this. Is it right here? It's right here. Her school uniform was torn and filthy. Her eyes were wide, and her mouth was open in the mud. She looked hurt, but before Riley could get his mom's attention, someone nearby started screaming. Riley's mom stopped running and turned to her son. She scooped him up before he knew what was happening. She pulled him onto her hip like she had carried him when he was younger. Riley wrapped his arms around her neck, even though he normally would have screamed to be put down, demanding she treat him like a big boy. But not tonight. Instead, he put his chin on her shoulder and tried to keep his eyes on Katie. She, too, was swallowed up by the crowd. Riley was sure he saw someone tread on her hand as she disappeared from view. People started to shove one another, and his mum stumbled about on the uneven turf, her pace far slower now as she carried her son. Riley held tight around his mum's neck, worried she would drop him if he let go. The world was a lot brighter from this new vantage point, and the sea of legs around him had instead become a sea of anguished and panicked faces. He could see the fires now, as well as smell them. They weren't as big as the ones he remembered from last year. Those fires had been huge piles of wooden pallets and timber. His mum had pointed out the tiny blocks that she called fire starters to him as well. His nanny used something similar to get the wood burner in her house lit in the winter. Oh, what's happening at bonfire night? What's happening at bonfire night? Yes, it's spooky, spooky, spooky. All right. Let's see, where was I coming from? Yeah, here we go. These fires weren't built with pallets at all. Instead, they seemed to have been lit using anything that could or would burn at all. Riley saw chairs and benches from the nearby picnic area and car tires, all smoldering or alight with flame. There seemed to be more bonfires than last year as well. Last year's tower of pallets had been the main attraction, but there had been smaller fires for sitting around or toasting marshmallows on. Now there were hundreds of little fires dotted throughout the crowd, their smoke rising, thick and noxious. They passed one fire which contained a pair of boots, the leather peeling away from the soles. The smoke wasn't as thick as this. I could hear the click of my mouse in that. Well, maybe I can't risk it. The smoke wasn't as thick this high up, and Riley took some deep breaths of the night air. The odor of burning hot dogs hit the back of his throat and made him choke. It wasn't the mouth-watering scent it usually was. This smell was laden with chemicals and rot. Riley felt faint as the taste sat on his tongue, choking him. It didn't smell like fun anymore. It smelled like the barbecue they'd had the summer before when his mum forgot about the steaks, and they burnt black all the way through. He felt sick. He wanted to go home. The screams had faded away behind them, but now took up again in a crescendo. Another bang startled Riley, and now the sobs came thick and fast. "Nearly there," his mum panted, struggling ever onwards. There was another explosion nearby, but no shower of sparks lit up the sky, nor was there a red light like the one they'd seen earlier. Just more screaming. A man Riley didn't know stumbled in front of them, then fell. His mum skidded to a halt to avoid tripping as the man lay prone, making no attempt to stand. A screaming woman threw herself at them, knocking Riley from his mother's arms. "Don't touch my husband!" Riley landed hard on the icy ground as the woman threw herself over the man's body, burying her face in his... Oh, crap, I had to click the mouse there. I don't understand why this is not connecting better. Let's see. Husband. Do-do-do-do-do-do. Riley landed hard on the icy ground as the woman threw herself over the man's body, burying her face in his coat. Shocked, Riley tried to push himself to his feet, but someone trod on his fingers, squishing them into the mud. He felt the cold and damp reach his skin. Where was his mum? Then she was there, grabbing him from behind and lifting him into the air. "You're okay, you're okay," she whispered as she cradled him close to her chest. "It's okay, we're okay." Riley's sobs began to grow. This night had stopped being fun a while ago. He didn't want to be a big boy anymore. He wanted to go home. He wanted to play board games with Katie or buy sweets from the corner shop. Where was Nanny? Why were they here? Why were they here? Is that right? Oh, I know why. Oh, that's bad. That's a bad cut. You guys couldn't hear that, but that was bad. It was bad, guy. Okay. Ah, crap. I messed up the PDF, so I jumped in too late. Okay, here we go. Don't mess it up, Kevin. Do not mess it up. Hey, Spence, sorry. I'm flipping back and forth because I've only got one monitor in my booth. Yeah, and you know what? I think you've seen this before. This is the story that Luis, Carl's wife, wrote, like, that I got 2 years ago. That I've been promising myself. A little 12-page story, so finally getting it done, but I thought it might be fun to see how, well, quite honestly, silly I am when I record stuff that Luis can see. It's not all seriousness and drama. But I'm flip-flopping back between this and the chat, so because I want the screen to look right, and you know what I'm talking about. You know. All right, let me fix this. Why were they here? His mom ran into a waist-high metal fence, smacking Riley's legs against the bars. He shrieked, but she ignored him, continuing to whisper in his ear, but now following the fence. There were people here, almost in an orderly queue, jostling for a space by the fence and forcing their way towards an opening as I run out of breath. Breathing in voiceover doesn't happen. Do 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 do. Let's try that again. There were people here. Nope, that was a weird read. Don't know what I was trying to go with that. Nope, let's try that again. And I lost my place again. I need like I want to get a huge monitor. You know what? I want a studio brick so I can get that like booth-wide monitor and actually have a desk to sit at. This chair is so uncomfortable. It's ridiculous, I tell you. Oh, first world recording problems. All right, let's try this again. And it's getting hot. I've got to turn my air on. Why is it recording? Sorry, now my keyboard is not working. Oh, there we go. There were people here, almost in an orderly queue, jostling for a space by the fence and forcing their way towards an opening. Suddenly, Riley could see it was a queue, a snaking pathway of waist-high fences. And I lost it again. God, I must be tired or something. Yeah, I'm tired. All right, let's try this again. Boy, this is professional stream right here. Good Lord. Suddenly, Riley could see it was a queue, a snaking pathway of waist-high fences leading towards a barricade of trucks and chain-link fences. The wall was topped with army men, just like the set Riley had at home. The queue was moving quickly, and as now see, I'm nervous now because you're watching, Spence. It's, a professional's watching me now. Good Lord. The queue was moving quickly, and his mum kept up with the pace. People had bottlenecked by the trucks, but Riley could see more people behind the chain-link fences. As they got closer to the front, the queue began to move slower. Riley looked at the people around them, desperate to see someone he might know. He'd seen no other children so far. Up ahead stood the army men, holding guns. Some had huge dogs on leads with them. They didn't bark, but Riley could hear them growling. All right, here we go. They didn't bark, but Riley could hear them growling occasionally. They made it to the front after several minutes, his mom keeping up her mantra of, "It'll be okay," the whole time. Riley was beginning to think it wasn't okay, and it wouldn't be okay, but he wasn't sure why or how that was. He was starting to not like bonfire night as much anymore. When they were called forwards from the line, the army men let the dog sniff around his mum's legs for a long time. The dog sniffed and sniffed, then one of them got up onto its back legs and sniffed Riley. Despite his reservations, he laughed at the snuffling noise the dog was making. His mum smiled at him thinly, and Riley reached out and patted the dog on its head. The army men pulled the dogs back sharply. "You can go," one of them said. One of the dogs whimpered, but Riley's mum was already hurrying forwards, her feet tripping over themselves as she ran away from the crowd in the queues behind them. She ran through the gap between two trucks, and then suddenly they were behind the chain-link fences. As they rounded the last corner, Riley caught a glimpse of a huge bonfire just beyond the barrier. It was stacked with bones. Riley knew they were bones because he could recognize skulls, and also because some of the bones still had people attached to them, and also because some of the people were being forced into the fire as he watched. His mum swiftly dropped him to the ground, disrupting his view. Riley pulled his scarf down to under his chin and took a deep breath. His mum didn't bother reprimanding him. Instead, she grabbed his hand once more in her own and began to tug him along behind her. They were in a wide open space now. The ground beneath them was less churned up, but it was strewn with debris. You get a little swig of water. Oh, man, thank you, Spence. I appreciate that. That's very kind of you, sir. Yeah, you know what? Well, you know, we're both storytellers, man. It's fun, you know, and once you get in and you know what, and this is just a testament to, I think, Louisa's writing. She's a darn good little horror writer. Well, little horror writer, she's got a number of things published right now. But give me a second, I gotta grab some water. Give me 2 seconds. I'm gonna get my airflow going there a little bit. Ooh. Alrighty. Yeah, there's a couple of auditions on. Man, I missed an audition. I let my procrastination get the best of me. There was a perfect audition for an audiobook that I was going to pay. I think it was offering, you know, the $200 to $400 per finished hour, about an anime-loving kid. It's a lit RPG who goes into a land to save, you know, princess or whatever. And man, I thought, oh, I would be perfect for that. And I was like, no, I'll do the audition in the morning. I'm tired. I'm old. Yeah, guess what was no longer available to audition the next morning? Man, so lesson, and I know this lesson. When you get an audition, if you're next to your booth, you record that audition. Get it done. Don't wait, because you're going to lose your opportunity. All right, where was I? This. Okay, here we go. Debris. Oh, I lost my mouse. Man, I need a... Yeah, you know what? We can't wait for the perfect time. The perfect... No. The perfect time is right now. You know, you open up ACX or wherever you like to look for your auditions, like, oh, you know what? I think I'd be a good choice for that. Boom, in the booth you go. You got a headache? Don't care. You got a cold? Don't care. I did an audition the other day, and I don't know why, but I was like instantly just kind of like stuffed up. I was like, oh, what's wrong with me? I'm so fuck. And I did the rest. Like, you know what? I'm just auditioning because I need to get back to practicing auditioning. And I'm on the wait list, or I've been, your audition has been listened to and has been put into the we like this, we're going to hold on to it. So, and it's for a gig in San Antonio. How's that for craziness? Perfect time right now. In fact, Spence, I want you to go on ACX right now, look for a book, and if you like it, audition for it right now. Stop watching me, because I'm getting mushy mouthed here. Okay, where was I? What is this line? Was less churned up. What a great word, Luis. Less churned up. And I can't even find. I've lost it in the script. Oh, let me get some air in here. Oh, it's getting toasty. I'm watching all these narrators on TikTok still. I still got to get on the darn TikTok. And I don't know how they stay so. Well, you stay cool in your booth. I'm in here sweating buckets. I got my James Hetfield, double length sweatbands on. It's crazy. Debris. Where's the word debris? Uh-oh. Where's the word debris? Oh, there it is. Okay, found it. I have found my place. Oh yeah, the ad break. Thank you. Okay. Now I know the word is. Close the door. Hit record. Gloves and scarves were trampled into the ground. Napkins and plastic cups were also discarded as if they'd interrupted a picnic. Riley's mom led them to the far side of the yard, past the bonfires where people were fighting and screaming against the army men. His mom didn't even seem to notice. A woman in a white plastic coverall ran up to them, a surgical mask covering all of her face except her eyes. She looked at Riley in shock. "Why wasn't he evacuated from his school?" the woman asked his mom. Riley frowned at her. He didn't know what evacuation was, but he hadn't been to school that day. He's had a sore throat in the morning. Oh, he had? I think that's wrong. I got a question for you, Spence. Actually, I don't need to see this line, actually. Oh no, what did I just do? I don't know what I did. If I do that, there we go. Do you do this, like, my big fear when I do punch and roll is I always worry about getting my clipped breath, so that's why I watch it in, I want a different color than this. Let me get a different color. Ugh. Give me a light blue. I want a light blue. That's nice. So, like, when I do punch and roll, do you ever get caught with that you realize when you're doing your cleanup that you clicked into a breath? So I always try to make sure I get my punch and roll right. Like that's going to be a clipped breath if I do it there. Got to do it right there. Boom. There we go. Now let's do it. Okay, here we go. That's the wrong sentence. Let's start from over here. And I'm doing a lot of breathing here. It's like I'm in a respirator. Got to work on that. Get right in there. There we go. He didn't know what evacuation was, but he hadn't been to school that day. He's had a sore throat in the morning. Much better since he had... Can't speak. I can't talk. Can't do anything I want. Yeah. There's a deep cut. A deep cut of Glenn Danzig. Hello, my dear. Athenia Netta. Sound like a cornetto flavor. Athenia Netta. Cornetto. The new summer flavor. Athenia Netta. Mint with a hint of pistachio. I don't know what I'm doing. Let's see. Let me get back to this story. Oh, come on. Why is this little mouse? Frickin'. Okay. Okay, let's. Yeah. I learned the hard way. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, here we go. He's had a sore throat in the morning, much better since he'd had ice cream for lunch, and then they'd come here. His mum muttered some replies, and the woman shrugged. Follow me. She led them towards a van with the rear doors flung wide open. 2 men with guns guarded it. They stood like the army men, but wore big masks that covered their faces and black body armor. Riley stared at them agog. Neither of them acknowledged them, and then he was lifted into the back of the van. We'll need a blood sample from you both before we can move you to the waiting area. The woman in the white plastic suit said. Oh, that was a bad read. Oh, Kevin. Kevin. Like, come on, little... What? Oh, here we go. Let's fix that. Let's fix that. Let's fix that again. Oh, yeah, let's fix that line. That's a bad read, Kevin. Bad read. What am I reading? Shoot. Screwed up again. I need a better. I got the. I thought this was a good purchase. Spence, you'll laugh at this. I got one of those wireless pointer mouse. Thinking, because I didn't have really a surface, but you can hear it clunking around, the balls clunking around, and it just never connects right. Back of the van. In a van down by the river. That's what we're doing. Okay, back to screen here. We'll need a blood sample from you both before we can move you to the waiting area, the woman in the white plastic suit said. She indicated a bench against one wall for them to sit on. Riley's mum slowly lowered herself onto it. Isn't this the waiting area? She asked, indicating the yard beyond the van, alight with fires. We went past the dogs. The woman nodded, her face unreadable behind the mask. The dogs are an early warning system. If someone has a high level of infection, they can sense that. But we have to run a blood test to be sure. Then we'll get you out of here. Riley's mum shifted in her seat. He doesn't like needles. Is there any other way? A swab or something? He could wee in a cup. Riley realized she was talking about him. I don't mind needles, Mum, he said, trying to be helpful. We had jabs at school last year, and I got a lollipop and a sticker for being brave, he told the woman. She held his gaze before sliding her eyes back towards his mother. His mum gave a wan smile. The woman took his mum's hand and swabbed her index finger with a cotton pad. Then she used a white contraption that looked to Riley like a hole punch, but made a noise like a staple gun. Press your finger on this. She handed a piece of card to his mum, then unloaded her staple gun into a bin. She reloaded, then, there should be maybe a comma there? Maybe not. Sorry, Luis. No, I'm not criticizing. It's a lovely story. I really like the story a lot. It's really, really scary and good. A slow burn. Yeah, not as functional as I had hoped. I did see a video. There was a TikTok with a narrator saying that it was like a dead quiet mouse. So I'm going to have to get that video again and see what she was talking about. All right, let's try this again. She reloaded, then held out her hand towards Riley. It'll feel like a pinch. I don't have a lolly, but if you do it quick, I'll give you a high five. That's not the right voice for that lady. I just did the voice. It'll feel like a pinch. I don't have a lolly, but if you do it quick, I'll give you a high five. Riley looked at his mum, but she was staring at the card she now had her index finger pressed against. He could see the blood splitting a quaffit. Wav, twowav. Marriage is yes. Okay, here we go. I moved the PDF. God frickin'. I hate this mouse. I hate this mouse with a passion. Oh, I screwed the PDF again. Oh, professional. Man, Spence, you got to teach me how to be good here. There it is. Okay, now I've got it right, I think. He could see the blood spreading across it. He held out his finger, and the staple gun went off. Then he was pressing his own finger against a piece of card. The blood spread just like his mum's. "Good boy," the woman said. She unloaded her contraption into the bin once more, then grabbed a torch from the wall. She hit the button, and a dark purple light lit up from the bulb. "Pass me your cards." Riley and his mum handed them over. The woman held them up to the light. Riley's finger was still oozing blood, and he wondered if she'd give him a plaster like they did at school. "Do I get my high five now?" he asked. "We've got 2 positive here in Bravo 3. The woman spoke into a walkie-talkie. The men guarding the door stepped into view. "What are you doing?" Riley's mum stood up and reached for the woman. "We're clean." "I'm sorry, Mum. We get more..." There we go. Here we go. Oh, this one be tight. Look at that, Spence. Little breath. I can't clip that. Oh, it's going to be terrible. And if I knew where that line... Oh, there it is. "I'm sorry, ma'am. We get more false negatives than false positives." The woman dodged her grasping hands and pushed her towards the guards. "There's a mistake!" Oh no, her voice shaking. Gotta get that shake in there. Harlem Shake. Bring it back. Bring back that crazy trend. That's what I say. Yeah. All right. Okay. I was scrolling. Caught me scrolling. "There's a mistake!" Oh, nope, still not. Screwed up my performance. "There's a mistake," his mum said, her voice shaking. "Test us again." No one answered, but one of the men by the doors reached into the van, and Riley's mum... Oh, I think this is a correction. I like that no one answered. Wait, what? What is this? And reached into the van. What is this? No one answered, but one of the men by the doors reached into the van, and Riley grabbed... One of the men by the doors reached into the van and grabbed Riley's mum by the arm, I think is what that's supposed to say. Okay. We're okay. We're going to fix that. Damn it. But, I am really flip-flopping tonight. No one answered, but one of the men by the doors reached into the van and grabbed Riley's mum by the arm. The other reached towards Riley. Instinctively, he shrunk back. His mum was struggling now, hitting every inch of the man holding her that she could reach. "Ma'am, please. We can't afford to let you through. We can put you in isolation, but if you struggle..." And then his mum lunged forwards, knocking the guards off their feet. They fell backwards, his mum landing on top of them, still writhing and screaming, her arms flailing as she lashed out at them. "Riley, run, baby, run!" his mum screamed. Riley froze for a second before he felt fingers grasping for his coat. The woman in the plastic suit was trying to grab him. Tearing his eyes from his mum, he did as he was told. He threw himself from the back of the van, back into the yard, and darted between the legs of the shuffling crowd. He ran away from the smell of barbecue and towards the red flashes of stars in the sky. Ahead of him. Ahead of him. Let me check the chat. Fabulous. Ahead of him were the army men and their dogs. He nearly made it, but at the last second Mrs. Harrison grabbed him. He hadn't seen her since they'd crossed the field earlier. She still wore her pajamas, and now Riley could see she had half her hair in curlers, too. At first Riley was happy to have found a familiar face, but her eyes were glassy, and she held him too tightly until he couldn't breathe. He struggled in her bony arms. When he looked down, he noticed her bunny slippers had disappeared. "I got one! So let me go! You let me go!" she screamed as the army men approached them. The men ignored her. One of them grabbed Riley from her arms, pulling him loose from her death grip. Riley watched as two more men began to drag Mrs. Harrison through the crowd towards the bonfire. People continued to walk around them even as she screamed and fought. The dogs behind him began to bark, and Riley started to cry once more. "I want my mum!" he screamed. The army man dropped him to the ground and turned him around to face him. He wore a heavy helmet and a black face mask, but he pulled this down so oh yeah. That's my mess-up sound. Oh yeah. We're gonna go from right. Oh no, that's not a parting point. Parting point? Good Lord, I must be tired. Okay, we're gonna try that again. What? Oh. He wore a heavy helmet and a black face mask, but he pulled this down so Riley could see his face. Hey, it's okay. It's okay. We'll take you to your mum. He grabbed Riley's hand in his own gloved hand. It felt giant compared to his mum's hand, but Riley felt reassured. You know what? I see her over there. The man pointed ahead of them and began to walk, gently tugging Riley along behind him. I want my mum, Riley sobbed, but he didn't pull away. Instead, he followed the man as he led him slowly towards the bonfire. The end. Ooh, zombie time! Gonna turn into zombies in England. A little scat for you. I'm the scat man. I was just reading about that guy. Remember that guy, the scat man? I didn't realize that he was a jazz singer, but he learned to do scat because he had a stutter, and he was like trying to hide it or something, or not hide it, but just use it. And boom, in his late 40s, he became a club hit. I know, man. Luis, you got some messed up stories in your head. There's another one. I should just read it. I wasn't going to record it because it's from a female perspective, but since we're here, maybe I'll just do it. I did another one. Yeah, I'll just record it. It really should be done by a female, but I think that's just me. It's a female main character, but since we're here and it's something to do tonight. Oh, nope. Don't want to do that. Don't want to go over that. Hit record. Okay, you'll like this one. This is a good one too. I like this one a lot. Oh, but it's not a PDF. I've got to make it embiggen it. Okay, here we go. Sauna by L.F. Mills. Cold air slipped into the room before the door could shut. Grumbles rose from deep within the darkness, along with the sound of flesh slapping as it was adjusted unhappily in the chill. Claire took the hint and pulled the door closed behind her, fighting its anti-slam mechanism to shut the heat in as fast as possible. Eventually, the door sealed into its... Did I say impossible right? Did I say that right? I don't think I did. Nope, I did say possible. Oh, let me get my punch and roll button activated. Actually, I'm going to move that over here so I can... Oh dear, that's not good. Here, we'll do this right here. Yeah, this is a good one. This is a good one. All right, let's go from here. Oh, nope. Eventually, the door sealed into its frame in a silent defeat, and the heat quickly began to build once more. Her flip-flops slapping on the stone floor, Claire made her way to the nearest bench. She took a hesitant seat on the baking wood, testing its temperature against the delicate skin of her thighs, before leaning back and relaxing. She took several deep, deliberately slow breaths and let the heat roll gently over her, feeling the strain in her muscles slowly ebb away. Ebb? That was a weird read. That was a weird read indeed. Let's fix that too. You know you're getting tired when you're getting sloppy. Missed it again. Damn this mouse. Curse this mouse. She took several deep, deliberately slow breaths and let the heat roll gently over her, feeling the strain in her muscles slowly ebb away. It was hard to be annoyed at quarterly reports and missed deadlines in a room that smelled of lavender and aloe. Her sinuses began to open up, and her chest soon felt lighter than it had all week. Sweat began to bead at the nape of her neck, and she slowly allowed herself to adjust, gently unsticking the skin of her thighs from the bench and stretching out her legs along her own deserted row. From this angle, she could see out the glass door and into the spa beyond. Other guests padded back and forth in their plush robes and slippers. They walked slowly, careful not to slip on the slick floor. Some stopped momentarily at the water cooler opposite the sauna door to drink from paper cups, but most meandered on along the corridor, in search of the variously scented steam rooms or perhaps the sun terrace by the outdoor pool. There was low classical music playing from speakers hidden deeper in the depths of the sauna, dampening the faint murmur of the other patrons' conversations. Claire listened idly, her eyelids slipping lower as thoughts of her inbox and bonus finally slid fully from her mind. She watched a man hurry past the sauna door, glancing backwards over his shoulder as he ran. Absent-mindedly, Claire considered if an attendant would reprimand him for disrupting the carefully cultivated peace the spa boast. Oh, we gotta breathe, or you run out of air. That's how we do it in the booth. That's true, and I think that this does kind of lend itself a little easier to that, and I agree. Absent-mindedly, Claire considered if an attendant would reprimand him for disrupting the carefully cultivated peace the spa boasted. Ugh. What is going on? I can't talk today. Let's try that again. Ah! Curse this mouse! Professional equipment. That's what you need. Absent-mindedly, Claire considered if an attendant would reprimand him for disrupting the carefully cultivated peace the spa boasted in the brochure. Little burp came in. The little burp came in. Just, oh my goodness, another one came in. Let me get some water here. And get some air in here. Good Lord. I'm going to buy one of those ice vests. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to buy an ice vest. Oh, okay. Let's try this again. Come in here. Get it nice and tight right there. There we go. No! What did I do? Oh, I hit tab. Oh. What happened here? Oh, I swear this mouth is going to be the death of me. This mouth going to be I'm losing my ability to speak. Am I having a stroke? Absent-mindedly, Claire considered if an attendant would reprimand him for disrupting the carefully cultivated peace the spa boasted in the brochure. Sweat was running in rivulets down her face now, pooling in the hollows of her collarbones and throat. Her head was muggy and body felt heavy, like she'd spent hours baking in noonday sun instead of just a few minutes in the sauna's faux heat. The water cooler outside the door was looking ever more enticing, and Claire was just working up the strength to break the lethargy. Having a hard time scrolling too now. This is just unprofessional. There we go. I'm going to go from there. The water cooler. The water cooler outside the door was looking ever more enticing, and Claire was just working up the strength to break the lethargic spell and step outside when a guest ran into view and knocked the water cooler over. The collision sent the guest off at an angle, and they thumped into the glass door and slid slowly down to the floor. Unfortunately for the poor guest, the door would only swing open into the corridor and not into the sauna itself, to lessen the risk of accidental injuries in the dim mood lighting. This meant the glass only shuttered in place as he dragged himself. Oh, I skipped a sentence. Because my mouse this is pathetic. This is a pathetic. Come on, master. Let me turn it off and on again. Turn it on and back on again. See what happens. There we go. There we go. Now you're going to work for me, right? Who's your daddy mouse? This meant the glass only shuttered in place as the guest clawed against the smooth surface for a grip, leaving bloody handprints as he dragged himself to his feet. His eyes were wide, crazed, with pupils blown wide, and for a second Claire could have sworn they'd met her own surprised gaze before the guest had staggered away from the door and run once more out of view. Did anyone see that? No, anyone else see that? Did anyone else see that? Did anyone else see that? Claire asked the room at large. A few of her fellow sauna users, Kevin. Proper words, please. A few of her fellow sauna users shuffled closer to the door to take a look at the handprints smeared across the bottom of the door. "Is that blood?" an elderly woman asked, tiptoeing to Claire's shoulder. No, of course not. Soup or something. Must have run into a waiter." Oh, no, that's the man speaking. That's not Claire. Wrong character. This is what you get for not reading it before. Well, I read it beforehand. I just forgot that was a different character. Know your characters. Wrong dude. Right here. Here we go. Oh, that's almost got that one good. Look at that. No, no, of course not. Soup or something. Must have run into a waiter. Another patron answered, a bustling, harried young man who Claire was sure was more used to boardrooms and shouting at subordinates than debating the likelihood of blood or soup on an, until recently, pristinely polished glass door. It's blood. Another woman, younger than Claire, but not by much, stepped into the small gathering to look at the door. Obviously, it's blood. How would you know? The man said, ha ha ha. Fight, fight, fight in the sauna. How would you know? A girl your age probably faints at the sight of it. The man from before laughed heartily at his own joke. Yes, I spend a week each month unconscious, retorted the girl snidely. The elderly woman smothered a snort. No need to be disgusting, said the man. It was just a joke. Claire was prevented from making her own comment when another guest ran past the door, tripped over the water cooler the last guest had knocked over, and promptly collapsed to the floor. They scrambled to their knees, but before they could get back on their feet, another guest, open dressing gown flying into the sea, into the sea. Now I have no mouse. Now I have no mouse. My Bluetooth is... What the hell was that? Nope. I've lost my script. Where's my script? I've lost my script. Ugh. Oh dear. Okay. Let's try this again. Where's my script? Apparently, my whole computer just decided to... Ugh! To crap the bed there. Okay, here we go. Back on track. Come on, little mouse. Don't fail me now. I can't even see the mouse. There we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Oh, script's in the wrong place. Yeah, I'm gonna have to find something. I need a wired mouse and I gotta build a little shelf in here or something. Okay. That doesn't sound very clear, does it? We're really professional. Sorry, Luis. You got a terrible narrator here. Claire was prevented from making her own comment when another guest ran past the door, tripped over the water cooler the last guest had knocked over, and promptly collapsed to the floor. They scrambled to their knees, but before they could get back on their feet, another guest, open dressing gown flying, threw himself at the crawling guest and chewed the flesh right out of his throat. "Oh, Jesus!" said the younger woman. "Quiet!" the elderly woman ordered. "Step back from the door, now!" "Is that a fucking zombie?" the man asked. Nobody bothered to reply. Instead, women. Let's try that again. There we go. Instead, the women took a united step backwards into the gloom of the sauna. The man hurried to join them. "What the fuck?" someone muttered. A sentiment Claire echoed internally. What the fuck indeed? Just 3 hours ago she'd been in her office arguing over pie charts. Now she was watching a man in a Speedo have his jugular torn from his throat, inch by inch like a noodle in tomato sauce. "He's eating him," the younger woman whispered. "Al dente," said Claire, thinking slowly that this must be what all those historical novels meant when they said ladies went hysterical at the sight of blood. Watching this zombie slurp his way through the bolognese, Louise, what kind of... Slurp through the bolognese of the jugular, my goodness. Watching this zombie slurp his way through the bolognese that was once a man's throat, she was pretty sure she'd hurtled past hysterical and arrived straight at fully insane. "We need to barricade the door," the elderly woman said. Oh, voice steady and calm, and I just did it shaky. Again, because I just kind of decided to do this and... Stop. Okay, the Bluetooth connection is not doing so hot here. Let's see if we can get it to kick back in. There we go. So what are you working on right now, Spence? Got any new projects? There's two that I need to audition for. Maybe I'll pull them from tonight. I guess it's okay. I mean, it's not like the ACX is like, private hidden. I mean, you can, anybody, if you have an Amazon login, you have an ACX login. Go figure. And you too can audition for books. Okay. Let's fix this. There we go. All right. "We need to barricade the door," the elderly woman said, voice steady and calm. "It only opens outwards, right? So..." She stepped forwards once more, and the light from the door illuminated a plastic walking stick gripped in one bony hand. With surprising force, she jammed it through the handle of the door, overlapping with the wall. It wouldn't stop a determined person from pulling the door open, but it would likely pose a problem for a zombie or two. Or buy them a minute at least. Outside the zombie. I'm mixing my noises. Oh, I can close that actually, can't I? I don't need that script. Don't need that script right there. Oh wow, that's awesome, man. I'm working on. I finally booked a job with a publisher we've talked about in the past, and I'll tell you later. But by me saying that, I think you know which publisher. Short book, but $250 per finished hour, so I'm happy. Oh, I don't know if I like that. I could be a little more heavy on that. I don't think you're hearing the playback, are you? I don't know why. Or buy them a minute at least. Outside, the zombie looked up at the noise of the door rattling in its frame, but seemingly lost interest when no fresh human ran out of the sauna and threw themselves on the floor. It went back to its meal, which now had reawoken and finally finished crawling all the way onto its hands and knees. Neck still spilling out, the new zombie began to stagger down the hallway, with the original zombie following, attached by a few feet of blood vessels remaining clamped between their teeth. "Well, what do we do now?" I don't think he was that proper when I did him first. When you don't get your voices solid like you should. Again, this was kind of on the fly. "Well, what do we do now?" the man asked, as outside the sauna screaming started up further down the hall. "I'm not going out there." "We wait," muttered Claire, collapsing onto her bench and pulling her knees to her chest. The heat of the room seemed to have increased tenfold when the walking stick had been forced across the door. Her head was pounding, with heat or adrenaline, she didn't know. Her mouth was dry. She looked at the water cooler just outside the door, slowly dripping its life-giving bounty onto the blood-soaked tiles. "We wait," she repeated. The end. Ooh. Ooh. Creepy, creepy, creepy. be stuck in a sauna while the zombie apocalypse unfolds outside your window. Craziness. Let's take a quick peekaroonie at ACX. Why not? We're gonna do live auditioning, maybe if we can find something good. Yeah, they had a cattle call. Actually, it was one author saying, "I've got like 12 books. Read this page, and then if we like you, we'll reach out to you." And then I got an email. And oh, that's wrong. That's the wrong website. ACX. Let's take a look at ACX. What we got here? I was gonna get some more. Yeah, I mean, it's 2,100 words, my half. Though it's interesting. It's a duet narration, not a dual narration, a duet narration. So I'm voicing my chapter and all the male voices, and also still playing the male voices in the other narrator's chapters. So I have to record my bits, and I bought a dog clicker, a little to mark, rather than snapping my fingers all the time, because that would just hurt my hands, my precious little finger, my phalanges. There's a couple here that are pretty decent. Here's a 3 to 5 hour, The Arcane Rebellion. Okay, let's take a look at this title here. Visit this view. Let's see what we got here review-wise. Great read, super detailed book. I could envision the scenes with how well they were written, kept my interest the whole time, and I was addicted. Not usually my genre, but couldn't put it down, so I read the whole book within a week. Can't wait for book number 2. 5-star, great read. The unique characters and engaging plot have me looking forward to the second book. I didn't want to put it down. And 5-star, great. Well, let's take a look at this one. This could be interesting. Tobias, The Arcane Rebellion, Book 1. 4.7 hours, 2 to 400 PFH. Word count, 44,121 words. Distribution exclusive territories, Earth. Do you get the emails from the publisher? You should have got the one that had the record this one script, but this is for the author that has like 12 books coming out. You didn't get that? You need to get on that list, dude. This is an excerpt from book 1 of a series of books I'm currently writing. Tobias struggles with chronic depression. He is constantly in a state of feeling like the world would be better off if he were not to be in it. Oh my goodness. While he feels this to be true, he knows that people would miss him, that him committing suicide would be the equivalent to an atomic bomb going off in the lives of the people he loves. I see him as someone who tries to make himself scarce, but is thrust into the world seemingly against his will. Aurora is a strong, independent woman who don't need no man. She suffers from something of an anger management problem. She loses her cool when she is criticized, or someone demeans her or her abilities. Oh, okay. Like magic abilities? This will come up as a problem for her throughout the story. She can be spoken with a bit of an accent if you'd like, optional. Sabrina, Lucian, and Matilda are other members of the Bellwater Mages, though their intentions up. Got an ad starting in 5 minutes. Clear the backlog, dude. Get in there. Make sure you're on their email list. I mean, I don't get a lot of auditions. Well, I will say the one thing is they're no longer a SAG signatory. But if a project falls in the budget, you can request to see if they'd be willing to do. I mean, I know this is more for me than you right now, but they are willing to make it independent. They are just not. They just are not a fully registered SAG signatory publisher anymore. She can be spoken with a bit of accent. Okay, there are relatively minor characters in the first book, though Sabrina and Lucian become the powerful couple later in the series. There is definitely something malicious behind the pair of them. I think it's just probably the fee. is why they did that. The fee that they had to pay every year, because I think there's a fee that you have to pay SAG-AFTRA to do it, and it's really just, I wonder if the math is just cheaper to pay that. It was like 13% more, I think it is, on top of the base rate. Excuse me. On top of the base rate for SAG-AFTRA, I think. I have to look at that again. There's definitely something malicious behind the pair of them. The other characters, Matilda's a bit more reserved and awkward for lack. She's the oddball out. Her prevalence will become more pronounced later on in the series. Well, that sounds darn interesting. Let's take a look at the audition, shall we? Oh, I think I read a little bit. Oh, God, this is 4 pages. Yeah, we're not going to read 4 pages. We're just going to read a bit of this here. Oh, no. No, it's they just decided not to continue to be a SAG signatory, as in like being officially signed with them. I think just going through a Paymasters. Like I said, I bet you if you do the math, it's probably cheaper to go through a Paymaster anyway in the end. And I wonder if because the majority of their talent weren't using it on a regular basis, that wasn't financially viable. Just guessing. Where's this audition? I just had it open. Oh, we're going to close that. Oh, my goodness. The bell rang 5 minutes later. The freshman students filed into the room, not quietly. There was lots of pushing and shoving happening as they entered the classroom. Tobias started his day by yelling at the group, generally not his favorite way to start the day. Halfway through the hour, one of the boys got up and punched another boy in the face, seemingly out of nowhere. Tobias yelled at him to stop, but the boy ignored him. Fists flew between the two boys, and eventually the boys collapsed in a heap in the middle of the classroom floor. Tobias had called the office for help, and Beatrice had to come in and separate the boys, then escort them back to the office. Tobias cleaned up the blood that had spilled in between the first and second periods. Oh, can't read that on here. My goodness. Oh, sorry. Tobias. About halfway through the hour, a woman wearing thick glasses entered the classroom. She had curly brown hair and was dressed in jeans and a cardigan. Tobias recognized her at once. Matilda Carrington, the special education teacher. Like Sabrina, he knew her, though not well. "Good morning, Matilda," said. "I'm on my prep now. Was there something you needed?" "Oh, sorry, Tobias." It had been a while since their last meeting, though Tobias was slightly disappointed that she didn't even remember his name. "Oh, yes, Tobias. I didn't know you were subbing for Agatha." Matilda was also a member of the Bellwater Mages, though she was a relatively low ranking. Her role was mostly to facilitate the training of her new apprentices. "Yes, I am. How are the 5 new students doing so far? Foxton, Finian, Lyra, Elena, and Darian." Oh, they're still in shock. Haven't really had much of a chance to work with them, if I'm being honest. I've been busy with the last. Matilda, I meant how are they doing here at Bellwater Academy? Oh, yeah, okay, I could do this. I like this Matilda girl. Tobias. "I'll freak this mouse." Oh, and there goes the audition. Anyway, it's 9 o'clock. Maybe I'm more tired than I thought, and I've been going since like 7:45. So I think we'll make it a nice hour and a half. I'll stop at 9:15. Oh my goodness! So that's how I record an audiobook or a short story. I'll get that processed for Miss Mills and slap this up on the old YouTubes. Can we edit video before we slap it up, or we just throw it? Because I wasn't sure I was going to do this tonight, so I didn't even. Thank you, brother, man. I'm glad you stuck around, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, good times. Excuse me. Doing anything fun for the Halloween time? Oh, got an ad break. Ad break, got an ad break going on. Ad break, got an ad break going on. Yeah. Ad break. Ad breaks in 45 seconds. Boom, bop, ba doop, bop, bop, boo. Ba doo boop, ba da bop, 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 ba doo, ba da ba da ba ba da ba ba da boo, ba da bop, bow, yeah. 30 seconds. 30 seconds. 30 seconds. Doop, ba da bop, bow, yeah. Bum, bum, ba doop, ba da bop, bop, ba. We're handing out candy and putting out a few decorations. Sweet! All right, back. Yeah, that's awesome, man. I'm going to wait, do you remember, did you ever go to, there was a thing here, Halloween, called Delusion. It was this, it's every year, it's this kind of a storyline. Oh, yeah, it's my favorite holiday. I just had no money this year to do anything fun, just like last year. I did splurge on one thing that is Delusion, which is the horror play that I like to go to whenever every year I can. It was designed by a stuntman, and it's just an amazing show. And yeah, I'm really pumped about it this year. Though it sucks. I did the VIP package where it said, be part of the show, like you take part in a scene, which I did. Well, there was a few years ago. Because every year is the next chapter in this story, right? And in this one, we had to help each other escape out of this one room, and so I'm, getting this door closed, and the guide saying, keep going, lock the door so everyone is out and safe. And then suddenly I'm by myself, and I get taken into a whole little separate storyline, like a little 5-minute storyline, and they put me in a coffin. And then everyone else in my group had to come rescue me. So that was a lot of fun. So I paid for the VIP this year to be part of the story, air quotes. But my other horror-loving friend said he and his wife did it, and the VIP was not worth it. So there's an extra, I don't know, $40 down the tube. But we'll see. I'm going on. Like, I think my time is 8:15. Oh yeah, it's really cool. And they do some amazing things, and I auditioned for it a couple times, never booked it, but because I don't think it's going to happen this year because it hasn't sold out, and usually it sells out. It sold out so much one year. Apparently, it started in September. All right, opens in September, and it kept getting extended until like I think March or April of the next year. That's how popular it was. They just kept going and going and going. I don't think it's at that popularity because they've had to move spaces because they have to take over a house and put in like special effects, stunt equipment. Yeah, yeah. So we'll see. And you know me. I mean, they're supposed to get access to the bar, and I don't drink, so we'll see. Maybe I'll get a T-shirt or something. I don't know. But yeah, no, so they've had to. And a few years ago, they had one really great house that they had built everything into, but the local city government, the parking became an issue, and the neighborhood complained. And they gave notices. I think everyone was trying to follow the rules, saying, it's a neighborhood, please park, and when you walk quietly to the house, But yeah, they were basically kicked out, and so I think they had to skip a year. If I recall correctly, and. But yeah, good times, man. So I'm going to be doing that. And then that's going to be my extent of my Halloween festivities this year. I was going to do the LA Haunted Hayride. I've never done that before, but just money. And yeah, there we are. Well, that's about it, though, man. So I think I'm going to head on out. So thanks again for stopping by. We got a game soon, brother. I will definitely, yeah. Look up Delusion, Halloween haunted house, and they've got some really cool video clips of what they do. Like the one that I went to the one was it last year I did it? Yeah, last year, and they had this super cool effect where we go. It was in a rundown house. I mean, we're talking like just really rundown. And we go into this one room and we're watching what we, it looks like a crackling fire, right? The next thing you know, this contortionist comes out like she is the fire. She's in this glowing orange suit and comes out of the fire as this fire demon. We all jumped. It was crazy. It was great. I loved it. Oh man, and I will be rich. I want to be rich to enjoy all the Halloween events. Because I haven't had a chance to really enjoy them in a few years, just because so expensive, and then they're just getting crowded. Like I did Hollywood Horror Nights at Universal once, I think. Yeah, I mean like 15 years ago, and it was okay. The lines obviously were long, but I hear the lines now are it's just ridiculous. It's like I don't understand why they don't limit tickets when they know, even like getting the VIP tickets at Universal, it was turning into like a 2-hour wait or something. It was crazy. Anyway, I'm babbling. I'm going to go to bed. Oh, it's only 9 o'clock. Why am I so tired? Oh, because I'm not on my testosterone. Because I got kicked off Covered California. Yeah, too expensive, too much waiting, too crowded. Yeah. Well, unless you did your ticket like in September, I think, like the first week or something. Anyway, we'll chat later, my friend. Thanks for stopping by, everyone else. Hope you have a great holiday weekend. Hopefully on Tuesday we're going to be playing. Hopefully the lads will be back. They were doing a performance this weekend, but Carl, Luke, and Aki will hopefully be back to ghost hunting on Tuesday for Halloween celebrations. Take care of yourself, and we'll see you next time. Bye.